All right, coaches, today I'm going to be talking about 5 speed boost, and I got about 4 speed bumps for you for coaching. And when I talk about speed boost and speed bumps, I'm talking about skill acquisition, teaching, getting your point across. These are the things like if you want to make your practices more valuable or increase the amount of time it takes for your athletes to actually learn skills and develop themselves. I'm going to give you what I feel like are some awesome ways to speed that process up, and then some things to watch out for that every coach does when they're not paying attention. So let's start with the good stuff. Let's start with the speed boost, okay? So the first one is cues. A great cue is worth 1,000 words. A great cue is like on backstroke. I always tell athletes toes to the top. Like we want to keep our toes bubbling the top of the water. That's going to be a great position for backstroke. I always on butterfly, it's kick the hands in, kick the hands out. On freestyle, I say power triangle. It's like there's these phrases and these few individual words that you can use that mean a whole lot. So, there's cues. Cues are just so powerful, and I really say like a great cue, if you want to level it up, creates an image. If you can create an image in an athlete's head, then you'll create an action. Okay, words create images, images create actions. So a great imagery like that you can create is like your foot explodes off the block. Like picture an explosion of your foot off the block to really teach them how to extend through their start. There's a bunch of cues, a bunch of different cues you can use, and I would love to hear yours, by the way. I love sharing cues, and I love getting cues from other people. Demonstrations, especially when you're doing skill work, a lot of times an athlete cannot manifest the image of that skill in their head because they've never done it before, they've never seen it before, or they've never done it properly. So especially, and I do this at every level, guys, 10 and under to our top 15 and 18-year-olds. If there's a skill we're trying to teach and they're doing it pretty poorly, I look for the one kid who does it right. I stop practice, I get everybody out, and I watch. I have them watch them. Now, on top of that, you don't even have to do that. You can pull up a TV, you could send out a video, and we'll have your athletes watch videos of somebody doing it really well. This is what I do with my whole technique video library. I pull out a skill, a drill, or just a full stroke, and I say, okay, watch this, watch how they do this skill. That's what I want everybody to look like. And it's almost instantaneously that we see changes in the practice. So I love demonstrations. It's a huge piece of learning in the skill acquisition process. Rewards. I think a lot of coaches don't love this, but there's a lot of different ways to gain rewards. We do different things on our team. Like sometimes we'll have a marshmallow day. Like you do 500 waters off every wall, you get a marshmallow. We see you doing X, Y, and Z, you get a marshmallow. And marshmallows are super cheap. They cost like $1. Maybe in today's economy, $1.50 a bag, but just a simple reward like that. An even bigger one is like a weekly challenge or a monthly challenge. Two things we're doing right now is we had this series of 3 swim meets in a row where it was just a Friday night race. We had about 200 kids there, and everybody just swam 2 races. It was like a real small thing, but they were sanctioned. And we added up their times from all 3 because everybody swam the same exact races, and we did like prizes for the top 10 in each thing. Or on the bottom end of our team, we have this month-long challenge, and there's this list of like 30 challenges. And every day, the last 5 minutes of practice, the team attempts to earn one of the challenges, and we'll see which team at the end of the month has accomplished all these challenges. So just different ways to reward kids. We do get out swims where once a month our high school groups, they make offers on swims like, hey, I'll go best time on my 100 free, or I'll be within a second of X, Y, and Z. And we take like a set number of offers and we say, okay, we need 5 wins here and we're done with practice or something like that. Another thing, tools. And you know this, you use tools all the time, tools, equipment. And I mean, you just want to make sure you're using them with intention, but 2 huge tools that I think everybody would benefit from are, one, swim bridge buoys. They're like the kick out sticks for underwaters. You stick them in the water and you don't have to keep reminding everybody to do underwaters. It's like kick past this and that's it. The other one is underwater video work. This is just huge. Underwater video is just a great way for an athlete to see how they're doing, and it ties back into the demonstration thing. With younger kids, I do it the same way. I'll point out a video of somebody doing it really well, And then I'll also point out a video of somebody who's not doing it well. I make it fun and light. It's not like a shame thing, but it is a lot of fun. And then the last thing, the last like boost that you could give to your athletes is the why. Or if you want to change it, like the why we're doing this, it's the what's in it for me. And that sounds like selfish, but guys, these athletes want something out of this sport. And when you're doing something with them, the what's in it for me really, really matters. So when you're teaching an underwater technique, you say, hey, when you do this, you'll be able to go this fast off the blocks. Like tie what you're doing to what they want, to what's in it for me. And that's also the why, like explaining why you're doing things. But that just goes in, that ties into buy-in. And the more you have an athlete bought into doing something, whether it's a hard set or a skill work or anything, culture of your team, you're going to get more out of them. Okay, let's go into the speed bumps. These will slow you down, these will get in the way, and these will ruin your practices. Okay, the first one is complexity. Complexity is the enemy. Now, this scales for where you're at. 10 and unders, they don't need sets with 7 different elements. It's like kick, swim, drill, change equipment, change distances, change intervals. Every time you do something different, you add a point towards complexities. Think of it like that. So, say you're doing 5 100s, okay? All right, simple. 5 100s, boom. Odds free, evens back. Okay, that's another level of complexity. Odd interval is 130, evens interval is 140. Another level of complexity. Odds are 5 underwaters, evens are 3 underwaters. Level of complexity. Last 25 is fast. You get where I'm going here, and you've seen workouts where it's like change equipment, add distance, change interval, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes there's athletes who do really well with the change, and a lot of them like the variety. Variety? Variety? Um, but just watch it and make sure it's tiered to your team. And this is how you know you've gone too complex. Execution is bad. Like, they don't know what they're doing. They're stopping at the wall. They're looking at the workout. They're asking, what are we doing? They're not doing the interval right. Like, that is a clear sign of too much complexity, just really bad execution. Another sign is that you have to over explain. Like, you spend extra time explaining instead of making it simple. I will say you can get your team to a more complex state by taking time earlier in the season to explain. So there is always a time of the year that takes more explanation, but if you're constantly like changing things, and this is going to be counterproductive to what I'm going to say coming up, but if you're constantly changing things and you're introducing complexity, you're just going to slow things down, and execution won't be as good, which is not good, that is not what we want to see, right? Energy. Coach's energy is huge. You got to bring great energy to the pool deck every single day. If you don't have energy, then the kids don't have energy. And I think the coach is the source of the energy of the practice. And I say that to myself because I have days where my energy is not great and I want us to just knock this workout out and do what we're supposed to do. But man, I promise you, if I bring better energy, I'm gonna get better work out of my athletes. That doesn't mean I need you out there acting like a fool, being this big old cheerleader. Sometimes you got to be a little goofy, and every coach has a different level of energy. Like, I swear, when I watch videos of Greg Troy coaching, I'm like, man, he just looks mad. But you hear athletes talk about him, and they're like, I love my conversations with him. I love the energy he brings. And there's obviously something there. Everybody does it a little differently. But I think the intention of bringing energy to your athletes is a big deal. And when it's off and when it's bad, they feel it. They feel it. Like, athletes will get bored, or they feel like they don't get feedback or anything like that. Next one, and this is counterproductive to what I said earlier. A lack of change does get in the way. So if things become too repetitive, too predictable, too much of the same, there is something called the law of accommodation, and it means your body will adapt to things. So that doesn't mean change every day. If you talk to Louis Simmons, rest in peace, the founder of Westside Barbell, he says things need to change every 3 weeks for there to be a proper adaptation. And I think that's great, 3 to 4 weeks. So in your training plan, like, you don't have to keep doing the same progression 6 weeks in a row to get something out of that. And I'm getting into periodization here and progressive overload, but you can, Andy Galpin says the concepts are few and the methods are many. And there's nothing wrong with every 2 to 3 weeks changing the main elements of the work you're doing or some of the skills you're doing. And a great way to change things is like, say week 1 and 2, we're doing this set of freestyle progression. Great. In weeks 3 and 4, we're going to do it with paddles and fins. It's things like that. In week 5 and 6, we're going to do it with chutes and towers. So you're still doing the same thing. You're just changing how you're doing it. And your athletes, there's going to be this novelty, this newness to it without adding too much complexity because it's essentially the same thing. We're just adding some equipment. And then the last thing, guys, and this will totally rock your season, rock your practices, rock swim meets, is chaos. And the antidote to chaos is preparedness and structure. So if your practices are chaotic, where everybody's all over the place, we're not starting on time, we're not good to go, we're not executing, like that's on you. Or people are just talking all the time. Like this is why I'm a believer in lane assignments sometimes. Now, when you get to the higher levels of teams, you don't always need this because they kind of know what they need to do and they get going. But man, at the younger level, they're 14 and under, 13, 14 sometimes, 12 and under, a lot of times, 10 and under, most of the time. Lane assignments are a big deal. Like right now, I'm coaching our top high school group, yeah, but this season I took on one of our developmental groups. Every now and then I like to do that to kind of get my feet back in the grassroots of the sport. But I have this one kid, and he's rough. And if I let him go wherever he wants, he's going to cause problems. And sometimes I'm like, this is your lane, you're staying right here. And I'll move his main buddy into another lane. Now I know that that sounds harsh, and swimming's about friends, and it is. I just make sure throughout the practice he gets real good interaction with his buddies, and that goes back to preparation. My goal is not to isolate him the whole practice. That's terrible. Nobody should do that. But you know what? The first 10 minutes of practice are a big deal to the momentum of a workout. So I want to nail that first 10 minutes with my 10 and under group, and then I start loosening the reins a little bit and give him some freedom and let him hang out with his friends, and it turns into a great practice. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps makes your practices better, and you can see the issues when you don't have great practices. Have a great day. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram at SwimCoachMike, or if you have some great cues you love to use, I would love to hear them.